Coming up tonight on Monday Night Skippys, there's a new season of the Club UK and Ireland Skip Barber Racing School Championship. The drivers head to Suzuka, and who knows, maybe Davidovich or Daniels can upset Sebastian Job. Once again, it's a full packed field here for Monday Night Skippys. Watch it!
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
It's a new season of the Club UK and Ireland Skip Barber Racing School Series here on RaceSpotTV, which means that we've got new drivers amongst old faces as they once again battle over the course of 12 weeks to go for the ultimate prize, winning the championship. We welcome you along for the ride, ladies and gentlemen, as Monday Night Skippys returns here on RaceSpotTV. Will Vincent, along with Rachel Whitefoot, for another season. It's our 4th season of competition here, representing Club UK and Ireland. We've got 31 drivers, each trying to get themselves as far up in the field as qualifying. Well, that one is already underway. We'll take you to the live action immediately. And currently on pole position is the driver of Roderick Davidovich. There you can see top 20 even on the left-hand side of your screen. 6 minutes left of qualifying. And well, Rachel, we saw Davidovich and Job, they had some great battles at the end of the season. This season, however, it looks as though Matthew Daniels has really moved himself up as he battled for the race win on Sunday night in the Skip Barber 2K World Cup. He's trying to do exactly the same right now in the Club UK and Ireland Skip Barber Racing School Series. Just 1/100th of a second separating those drivers right now.
Good evening, it is indeed, Will, and well, it's going to make for a really exciting championship as we see those guys from that mid to that low part of the top 10 really push up now for wins. And well, what a packed field we have. The talent's amazing, and we come to Suzuka, of course, a track with so much history and so much great racing. It's going to be an awesome evening.
Yeah, we saw on Sunday night in the Skip Barber 2K World Cup, it came down to a controversial moment between Richard Avery and another driver, a friction racing driver. We very well might see the same thing here today. There you can see them. Number 80 machine, Roderick Davidovich, working himself onto another lap. Let's have a look at the driver scored in second place. It's that one. It's Matthew Daniels. Currently, he is scored in the second position. He's got no drafting help, however, Rachel, as we ride on board with him. You kind of don't want a draft in Sector 1. You do want a draft on the exit of Sector 2 into Sector 3.
Of course, and it's going to be a job of pure luck to try and find somebody who you'll arrive at that's fast enough in Sector 2 and 3 to really get that toe wheel. Of course, Sector 1, you can't draft anything. The S's, they are a sector all to themselves. It's the toughest part of the track, I think, by far, and you really need the space to be able to put those laps in, get the corners right, get that momentum carried through, and once you clear the Degners and the hairpin, you can really start to get a toe, and running down to 130R, that's the biggest place you'll gain with the toe, and they kind of want to find someone there, so might see teammates waiting for people.
Yeah, we'd like to welcome a couple of new drivers into the series. Wayne Sanderson on the number 15 machine, making his journey into the series. I'd like to give a shout out as well to the one and only Rachel. It's Mr. Andy K running in that Radicals Online car.
It is indeed a name we haven't seen in a long time, so nice to see him there.
Yep, as he's currently scored on pit road. You see a couple of drivers on pit road trying to get themselves out for another lap. We've got ourselves 3 minutes and 40 seconds or so of qualifying remaining here to kick off the first round of the championship. As well, here you can see then a couple of drivers currently scored on pit road. Here you can see then the driver of Stuart Adcock in the number 52 machine currently scored in the second place. It is still Davidovich from Daniels from Joe, from Kane, from Atenides. They are your top 5. Then Mercer, Adcock, Brennan, Williams and Druskas, well, they round out your top 10. As Adcock right now, you can see the graphic up on your screen. Going to classified as 1 second back, but that one can go down very easily. A couple of drivers who do need to pay attention to, well, this is one of them. So Bastian Job right now going to complete another lap, and well, his first sector 53.6 seconds, sector number 2 39.217, working himself towards the start finish line. It's a slow lap for him, putting himself up some speed. Rachel, he will get himself 2 more laps in qualifying. The first one of those, to quote Jay and Dan, starts right now.
Yes, it does, and it's going to be really good to see what you can get on this lap wheel. Tough circuit, and traffic can really be a problem. As we said, Sector 1, you don't want to see anybody. You see someone, you're screwed.
Yeah, as they can see, Daniels is onto another lap as well on the number 41 car. This time he does have a little bit of help, and that is the driver of Fahim Atenides, as Daniels gets himself a bit of a wiggle through turn number 1, down in towards turn 2. Now, these drivers made it past the stripe in time. We have a look at aerial coverage brought to you today by And1 Design, and they are going to be the last 2 people past the stripe. Now, if you're Daniels, Rachel, or if you're Atenides, you start playing mind games at this particular moment in time, because Atenides will want to have that draft in the final lap. Daniels want to have that draft in the final lap. It's going to be a little bit of give and take right now, and let's see whether Daniels can get this first lap in first, and then to see whether Atenides might be able to get the favour repaid for him if he does a good job helping Daniels around this racetrack.
Yeah, certainly, and that's going to be the most important bit for these guys, of course. It is open qualifying, so your friends and your enemies get a little blurry at this sort of time of the session, so it's going to be very exciting to see what they can do. Limited, of course, running for them, so it's going to be more difficult, but, well, yeah, frenemies. That's a word that keeps getting reused.
I'm sorry, are you quoting Sprint again?
I am, in fact, quoting Darrell Waltrip, and
yeah,
I know I should probably be shot for that, but, you know, it works.
Well, here you can see Matthew Daniels working himself back straight away. There's his first sector time. It's a 53.271. Heading himself now towards Spoon Curve. Second sector up, 39.017. He comes into Spoon Curve. This is where he really wants to have the draft. We have a look there. Oh, a bit of big wiggle for him through the Spoon Curve. He might be able to recover from that one, but that may well be his qualifying over. The good news is there's going to be another car that may well come into play. That's going to work himself on the left-hand side as they work themselves down towards the 130R. Atenides might well clear him before the 130R, and Daniels is going to do exactly the same thing. He's going to put the pressure on, getting himself past, and as you can see, the driver, he's just gone past now, but Atenides is still within draft range as they work themselves down into the triangle, and well, Daniels will have himself 1 more lap to go, but Atenides will not want to play ball on this final lap. The gap between P1 and P2 is still just 1/100th of a second away. Savinovic goes faster, 2:24.483. He crosses the line. He has one more lap to go. Daniels working himself towards the start-finish line. Can he improve? The answer will be yes, but not by enough. So he stays in second place. One more lap for him to go. Savinovic continues along the racetrack, and Atenides up into third position, Rachel.
Yeah, big boost for him, and we saw him come towards the front of the sessions, of course, towards the end of last season. Great boost in performance from him, and wow, if anyone can pull off a lap time that beats him, that's still going to be a very good start for him to begin the season.
Yes,
Or as he goes off.
Yeah, there you can see the driver of Roderick Savinovic. They can see Atenides off on the side of the racetrack. Mark Mercer currently scored himself in 6th position. He will get a bit of a help though on this lap. Currently scored in P6, capturing himself and the driver of Sebastian Job out front. That is half a second. So it looks as though that Mercer is going to work himself through Dengers, and this could very easily be his qualifying done. I believe actually that is Savinovic ahead of him on the racetrack. Qualifying is over. The checkered flag is out. The drivers' laps that they are on now, Rachel, that will be the last one that they are able to do.
It will, of course, and well, we know Sebastian Job, he has no further part in this qualifying session. It's down now to, well, two drivers we know are very, very fast, and that will be Mark Mercer and Savinovic. They're working together, so of course Savinovic will get a small boost from Mercer, but running now down towards the spoon curves, so this is going to be important to see exactly what Mercer can pull. He will be in the capability, well, he gets the biggest advantage from this, but oh, car just getting out of the way there. Very, very good timing for that, because that could have been disastrous for these two laps, but Savinovic is on pole already. He knows that. Yes. Could this be mind games? Could he slow down? Could he break the draft?
Well, here you can see the gap between Mercer and Savinovic in qualifying is pretty much 1 second as they head themselves down towards the 130R once again. Now, they will cross the start-finish line in time as they head themselves down towards the 130R once again. They'll go back on board with Mark Mercer as they head themselves down into the triangle. This is going to be to the last drivers to head himself past the start-finish line. You can see then Mark Mercer heading himself, and that's Savinovic ahead of him. Savinovic does have himself pole position. You may expect him to pull his car to the right-hand side and just get out of the way of Mercer to allow him to charge the line. You can see the lap time will come up for Mark Mercer on your screen right about now. Where will he end up in qualifying? The answer is going to be it's not good enough for Mark Mercer. He will remain in the 6th place in qualifying here today. Qualifying, for all intents and purposes, is over. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, we can show you a look at your starting grid for this, the first round of a new championship. Pole position goes to Roderick Savinovic, qualifying time of 2:24.483, with Matthew Daniels just 17/100ths of a second further back. Fahim Atenides rolls up in the 3rd spot with Rob Kane in 4th, Sebastian Job in 5th, Mark Mercer in 6th, Clark Williams, Sonic Brennan, Rafael Draskas, Stuart Adcock, Stadebot Subaran and Chris Simpson in 11th and 12th, then Robert Plumley, Richard Williams, Tim Adcock, Raymond Norris, Mark O'Connell, Brendan O'Brien, Graham Forrest and Abco at the Armory, running out your top 20. Rest of qualifying coming up on your screen. We'll step aside for just 60 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, as we get yourself ready for the start here of the first round of the championship. You're watching RaceSpotTV. Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen. The cars are lining themselves up on the starting grid. Don't forget, this coming Saturday, it is the 12 Hours of Sebring, exclusively live here on RaceSpotTV and also on iRacing Live. Waiting for the last couple of drivers then to head themselves to the starting grid for this, the first round of the championship. Welcome to another season of Monday Night Skippys here on RaceSpotTV. As you can see there, the last couple of drivers getting themselves through that gridding process as we speak. Just waiting for them now to all get themselves ready. We'll zoom it in then. Front of your field. Here you can see Roderick Zavidovic getting those cars now ready to get this action going in just a couple of moments time. Here you can see last couple of drivers now heading themselves onto the starting grid. Any moment now, those engines will start revving. We'll get ourselves our 4th season here on RaceSpotTV of the Club UK and Ireland Skip Barber Racing School Series underway, as just a couple of more moments to go. We'll have a look there from our aerial coverage powered by And1 Design. In front of the field is the number 80 machine, Roderick Zavidovic. Alongside him, number 41 machine. As these cars gonna head themselves down towards turn number 1. Green flag in the air. A new season starts here on RaceSpotTV. Down towards turn number 1 they come for the first time. You can see Zavidovic has the early jump, and the number 41 car will line up alongside him as they go down in towards turn number 1. Daniels is going to look for the race lead. He won't be able to do anything as they go through turn number 1 and 2 for the first time. In your mid-pack, everyone will get through without any issue. They are too wide as they work themselves back end of the field. Now they come up the hill into the S's. They are 3 wide down at the rear of the pack, but it looks as though that everyone is going to be able to get through without any incident at all, Rachel.
Yeah, commentator's curse. Let's try and hold that one off, Will, because they're still battling super close. Everyone's single filing out right now and getting some good track distance, but the fight is not over yet. Of course, we have some very tough corners to come, and it's going to get really exciting, Will.
Yeah, we're right on board then with the driver of Peter Cohen as they head themselves up the hill to work themselves into Dunlop Curve for the first time. We're joined, by the way, by Randy Chenworth, as you can see there, down in towards Denga number 2. Your front, a couple of drivers come. You can see absolutely nothing to see between your top 4 or 5 drivers. They head themselves now down in towards the hairpin for the first time. We rattle on board then, Randy, with that driver of Matthew Daniels as he's trying to work himself now up the pack. He's working himself right now about a couple of car lengths behind that driver of Roderick Zavidovic. Not quite close enough to make a pass just yet, but he really is pushing it right now.
He definitely wants to get a move done if he can. Going into Spoon might be a good choice, but I presume he'll probably stay single file. Spoon is very sketchy. He'll probably just try to get a draft down that long back straight and get a pass done on 130R.
Yeah, we've seen all season long that these drivers like to push it. Here we are on board with Wayne Sanderson. He's currently battling down in the pack. He's got that number 99 car. Oh, Peter Cohen just ahead of him. He's battling with Rich Jones. Battle for P number 21, P number 22, up through the field. You got yourself Adcock. He's battling right now with Clark, with Dominic Brennan riding on board with him as he worked himself down in towards 130R. Here you can see he will look himself down to the outside as they work themselves down in towards that corner, and well, it looks as though that Adcock will get that move complete and move Adcock now up 1 position. He's up into P number 7 and he's charging for the field. They are too wide, and out front we have Rachel got ourselves a new leader. Matthew Daniels heads himself to the point.
Yeah, one of the first times actually been leading in this series, Will, so brilliant start for the year for him. Yeah, he managed to get past Zavidovic and it was exactly as we expected. Draft pass up running towards 130R, gets it done and completed before the corner. Oh, job well done. Zavidovic will not be lying down there, he's coming for him. Sebastian Job, though, of course, he's dropped a position, and we've seen that Mark Mercer's gained 2. Mark Mercer's into 4th position right now behind Anthony Des. Kane, pretty static. Sebastian Job, though, really not having a great race so far.
Yeah, we're going to get ourselves a quick replay then as we go on board with Roderick Zavidovic leading the race, but here you can see around the outside goes that number 41 machine down into 130R. That is Matthew Daniels, who heads himself to the race lead, as right now it's Daniels who leads from Zavidovic, then Atinides, Mercer and Job. They are your top 5 as we work ourselves now onto that number 2 of 10. Having looked further back though, Randy, still a lot of action going on. Dominic Brennan continuing his battle with Tim Adcock.
Yeah, definitely. They're just coming out of the Dunlop corner now, getting ready to head into the Degners. Always some good fighting in these Barber series. Well, I've commented a few of them, and always some of the best racing I've ever seen.
Yeah, so you can see Dominic Brennan there. He lost a couple of tenths of a second, even though it was Stuart Adcock who went off as they head themselves down into the hairpin. Once again, they can see that 708 machine of Rob Kane in the Securitas machine. Security, or so they say. He's worked himself now down towards Spoon Curve once again. As you can see, your top couple of drivers, it's currently Daniels from Slovenia and Shrum Atinides down in the pack. Still very close going on, Rachel. Rafael Draskas involved in a battle right now with Clark Williams as they head themselves down in towards Spoon Curve.
Yeah, he is. Well, of course, we've seen some great battling from Draskas last season, so I just love how many Z's are in that name. That's amazing. But no, he's always had a good fight, and he gets really involved. Lots of good clean racing from him, so could be one to watch.
Sebastian Job is going to work himself side by side then with Mark Mercer as they work themselves down into 130R. He will tote back in the line for the time being, but running on board of him anyway as they work themselves at the end of lap number 2. Just ahead of them, you've got yourself a battle for position. This is between Davidovic and Daniels, and Davidovic will have to fall in line. Now, here's the issue though, Rachel. Every time Davidovic will put the pressure on Daniels, Mahim Atinides, we know how canny he is, and we know just how easily he can take advantage of any situation on the racetrack. We're going on board of him as he tries himself to hunt down Davidovic in that battle for P number 2.
Well, he's looking at him now, and he's going to have to look to the inside there, Will. He will have to enter the line into 1, but we know he can actually take this entry to 1, too wide. See exactly that from Davidovic. But no, nice move there from Antonides, getting that position early. Not going to secure it, though, as we have Davidovic coming back at him on the outside. Well, no, he has a defensive line, so he will hold on to that one. This could be position secure for now, but nothing's ever certain with Davidovic.
Yeah, it's behind the pack as well. You got yourself Abkur and Marmory battling it out with Peter Cohen. This is the battle for P number 19, P number 20 right now as they work themselves up the hill once again. We have a look then from the rear of the driver of Peter Cohen running himself in the 20th position. Richard Jones scored in the 21st position. And then Andy Kay runs himself in P number 22. They can see him there in the Radical Steel Series Team Large car under pressure from Wayne Tannerson. So 2 drivers returning to the series here, and they are battling outside of the top 20 right now. But a little bit further up, we have got ourselves a kind of a 4-car pack going on here, Randy. And this is with Dominic Brennan, Stuart Adcock, Tabot Superan, and Clark Williams. They are 1.3 seconds ahead. So behind your lead pack right now as they head themselves down into the hairpin once again. They've got themselves a little bit of work to do right now, although they have pulled out a gap from that 3rd pack, which has had itself a change of position.
Yeah, this Suzuka in these cars definitely lends itself to pack racing. There's some intricate spots, but what that gets you is a lot of people with similar speeds running very, very close to each other with the long straights in these cars. Some of the faster cars, you don't get this. In these, you can see a lot of guys at similar pace bunching together, and it gets us some very, very fun moves in the turn 1 like we had for the change in second position there last lap.
Yeah, and there you can see Robert Plumley right on board of him. We've got a contact, 3 cars involved there, 4 cars involved, and that is front end of your field. You've got Favorite Subaru involved in that one. There you can see him bringing his car back onto the racetrack. But we had ourselves a total of 4 cars involved. Let's get ourselves a replay and try and figure out what happened with him. This is down into the spoon curve section of the racetrack. You can see that already Superman had himself a little bit of an damage to his rear ring. Coming up behind that number 52 machine as they work themselves down into spoon curve part A. And then it looks as though, Rachel, he just tagged the rear of that number 52 car. They both went spinning. Number 98 car as well. So Adcock. And we also have Superman involved in that one. And we also have that number 92 machine involved in the incident as well.
Yeah, just missed that braking point there and went straight into the back of Adcock. Not sure whether Adcock was being a little bit cautious or not, but Superman, heavy damage. Of course, Adcock, heavy damage. Vasquez picked up some big suspension damage coming through that one, and the 98 of Clark Williams also tagged, so bit of an early fracas amongst the field, but things, well, could have been worse.
And I'm battling with Peter Cohen right now, 2 wide, so work themselves down in towards turn 1, turn 2 again. Cohen will get the position, and it immediately puts Cohen under pressure, Amory under pressure from the driver of Marco Connors, who work himself down into the S's once again. So close battling going on here, but the battle out front, they're going to be side by side up Dunlop curve here. We go on board with the driver of Roderick Davidovic, and he's now going to have Atinides for company. He tried to make the move, he wasn't quite close enough, and now Atinides will look down to his outside, will complete the pass. No, he won't, because Davidovic will try and come back around down into Denga number 2. He retakes that position, and now Job will work himself past Atinides, so they work himself down into the hairpin once again. So Davidovic will hold on to second place for the time being, but Sebastian Job coming into play right now, 2 wide, 2 deep, into the hairpin, and it looks like your biggest winner of the lot will be the driver of Sebastian Job. We work on board with him, and they can see alongside Atinides, he completes that pass there, Randy.
Yeah, he had very, very good awareness there to just hang out through the Degners, get himself a good run going into the hairpin. He was on the outside of the hairpin, but was able to get a good run, and he was on the right-hand side on the inside for that long sleeping right headed towards Spoon. He managed to get by, so we got Mark Ursel spinning in the back.
Yeah, and there you can see
Mark
Mark
Mercer,
Mercer down in that number 33 Club 100 car. Let's get ourselves an instant replay of that one then, as he has himself an incident down on the running into the spoon curve. So he was involved in a battle with Atenides and Sebastian Job, as they can see, working himself past the bike chicane down in towards the spoon curve. Now, does he clip the rear of Fahim Atenides, or does he just lock up under braking? It's going to happen right about here. Down into the corner he comes, Mark Mercer, pushing on hard, coming down into the corner, and well, Rachel, he just tags the side there for him, Atenides, and it looks as though two doesn't go into one there. Mercer is the only victim in that incident.
He is indeed. We just had Antonius getting very loose at the final corner, running on that curb well, and he just got that car upset, and that's definitely going to allow Kane behind him to catch up. But yeah, not what he wanted, and that's really benefited Job. Job had slipped down to 7th place at one point, and he's recovered now and back up to 4th, so a track we thought he might have trouble with, he's really benefited from, and well, one of his big competitors is out the way.
Yeah,
I believe he might actually be, we've also had an issue, I think, with, no, that's Abdullah Amri has dropped down to 25th position. He's lost a lot of places too. Mercer's down to 14th, Will.
Yeah, but here's the real issue that's going on right now. Is Sebastian Job hounding onto the rear of Roderick Savidovic, and whilst this is all going on, Matthew Daniels has increased that lead now to 8 tenths of a second. And here's the issue, Randy. If you have if you have Daniels being able to pull away by about 1.5 seconds more, this race will be over halfway this time by Job looking down to the inside as they come down into dang number 1.
Yeah, they definitely don't want to let Daniels get too far out. They need to be able to stay close enough in the draft to be able to actually scoop this gap that they have back down and bring the race back to them. If they fight too much and let them get away, it'll basically just be a battle for P2 rather than for the win.
Yeah, working themselves out the hairpin once again, and just to give you confirmation there, you can see Abdul Al-Amri down in the 24th position as behind him. Jason McMurray going to do a little bit of off-road drifting there in that number 69 car as they head themselves through Denga number 2. We saw that quite a lot there on Sunday night here. And Randy, well, that's the thing about this racetrack. It does lead itself to drivers pushing to the limits, especially down in the Dengnas. But out front, you can see Job just tucking the rear there. Obviously, they head themselves down on the exit spoon curve once again.
Yeah, this circuit is arguably one of the most popular circuits in the world. A lot of the real-world Formula 1 drivers absolutely love it. A lot of sim racers love it as well, and I'm sure a lot of these Skippy guys are having fun out here. This slow little car definitely is probably fun to haul around this big Grand Prix circuit.
Yeah, as you can see, that driver's heading himself. Your top 5 are separated right now by 1.2 seconds. And you can see Rob Kane battling with Fahim Atenides as they work themselves down in towards the triangle. Atenides is going to push a little bit wide. That will allow Brennan the opportunity to try and do the cut over. Sorry, I take that back. That's Rob Kane there, down in the 5th position. We ride on board with him on the exit of the triangle, heading himself down towards 1 once again. And Kane will now have the advantage. You see him right now going side by side with the driver of Atenides as they come down in towards turn number 1, and it looks like if he can just hold that car on the outside line.
Side-by-side pass for the lead happening right now.
And you can see there, Savidovic going with Daniels, and it's going to be the winner out of that one will be Daniels, but Job will be right back alongside Savidovic here as they work himself down into the S's. Now, this is one part of the racetrack, Rachel, that you never want to see two-wide racing. Thankfully, they all keep it together, but Job is hounding that pressure right now over Roderick Savidovic. He wants to find a way past, and he looks down to the inside.
Yeah, he does indeed, and of course, brilliant move from him. We saw a lot of two-wide racing between those two at the end of the season, Will, so we know they can definitely do it. If any drivers can go too wide through the S's, they can.
Yes, they now come down through the Dunlop curve, as they can see. Savidovic, and you've got yourself Job on the outside. Who will be the winner? The answer is going to be Savidovic. He's going to push a little bit wide. Job all the way on the outside curve. He moves himself up into 2nd position. Now can Job closing off up to the rear of Matthew Daniels. We got ourselves a total of 4.5 laps to go in this race, and all of a sudden it's all kicked off here at Suzuka. It's Daniels from Joe, Savidovic from Atenides from Kane. Here are their last lap times, left-hand side of your screen, and Daniels at last time by Randy was almost a full second slower than Job. This one is nowhere near over yet.
Oh yeah, this lap time was definitely slower, but it'll be interesting to see how much that was up to the draft that Job had and Savidovic had, of course. They're coming down the spoon, going to be getting ready for that run down to 130R, and we're going to see that draft coming into effect. This job is really close. I think he had to check up there not to touch the rear end of Daniels. Probably lost a bit of his run heading down to 130R, and Savidovic is going to be definitely trying to take advantage of that.
Yeah, they work themselves then down the very long back straightaway. Once again, here you can see Sebastian Job thinking about lining up a bar, so they come down into the 130R.
Are they going to go 3 wide on 130R?
There.
Oh,
They're going to
wow.
go 3 wide down into 130R. Who's going to make his stick? Daniels is going to lose that. Savinovic on the outside is going to go all the way to the point as they work themselves down into the triangle. 2 wide, 2 deep, and it's going to be Savinovic round the outside going to the race lead, Rachel.
What an amazing sequence of passes there, Will. 3 wide into 130R. You just don't do that. Job, of course, and Savinovic making a big move around both sides there of Daniels. He's lost out big time. They've gapped him now. Job around the outside of Savinovic, running into turn 1. Job completes the pass early, and he will have it into turn 1. I need to take a breath.
Well, let's get ourselves another look then. This one is going to be on board with Sebastian Job. As you can see, you got yourself Roger Savinovic. He's going to plant himself to the outside there of Matthew Daniels. They work himself down into 130 yards. You see, Job had the inside line, but he checked up too much, and that allowed the driver of Savinovic to go all the way to the outside there, getting himself the inside line down into a triangle. Incredible move there, Randy.
Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. As a driver who's driven this track a whole bunch, I know how scary 2 wide into 130R can be. I don't think I've ever tried 3 wide, and doing it for the race lead 7 laps into the race, potentially throwing away everything you've worked for. It's a huge risky move, and it paid off for Sebastian Job and Savinovic.
Yeah, as they can see, they came down into the corner with Savinovic out front, but then Job was able to take that advantage away as they head themselves down in towards turn 1. We go back along board then with that driver of Sebastian Job. Here you can see him getting that race lead away from Wodrick Savinovic. They head themselves down towards the start finish line. Interesting point to note, at the line, it was 59 thousandths of a second deficit to Sebastian Job. So that is one thing he will have to pay in mind on that final lap of the race if he loses the lead once again. It's right now Savinovic leading, Job leading from Savinovic. Then Savinovic to Matthew Daniels is 7 tenths of a second. And then Atenides in 4th and Rob Kane running out your top 5. And Rachel, we've not talked much down in the pack for a while. It's still going on. Here's the thing. Attrition-wise, we've got 29 drivers still scored on the lead lap.
We do, and this is an incredible fight, Will. First round of the season, we've had 30 cars running. It just doesn't get much better than this. This field and the talent here is amazing. I love the racing. Throughout the pack, it could be 1st place, it could be 27th place. These guys it's awesome.
Well, let's take ourselves a breath because Rob Kane's all of a sudden going to start battling with Fahim Atenides there as they go down into 130R once again. They can see Atenides, they can see Matthew Daniels. Daniels now up into the 3rd position once again. He's only half a second from the race lead here, Randy, with 3 laps to go. Anyone in this top 5 can still make it happen. One little wiggle and it'll be all over for your respective driver. As here you can see, Savinovic is putting that pressure on Job as they come down in towards turn 1 once again. Will he go down to the inside? The answer is going to be no, he won't. He's not quite close enough.
Yeah, the way these gaps are right now, any one of these top 5 can win this race. And one misstep could mean that we see our P6 driver, Dominic Brennan, bringing home the checkered flag.
Well, yeah, because it's so difficult here, Randy. It's so narrow. We saw it in the Racing.com World Championship Grand Prix Series.
They're not making it seem narrow.
Yeah, make it a mistake, and it'll be game over.
Yeah, definitely. And the walls aren't very far away here at Suzuka. There's a bit of runoff, but if you go spinning, you're definitely going to hit one. And with as much aerodynamics as you need here and the amount of drag that damage aero bits can cause, it'll basically be a race done.
So, 2.5 laps to go. We ride along board, Rachel, with the driver of Tim Adcock. That's right now. He has scored in the 13th position. It's his own brother right behind him with Stuart Adcock, who cycled out 360 cam here around. But 1.2 seconds is the gap behind. Out front, well, it's only a handful of tenths of a second. It's Robert Plumley right now running himself in P number 12.
He is indeed, and of course, Plumley, pretty gamey racer himself there behind the damaged car there of Draskas. And wow, we've got Adcock bringing up the rear of that one. In fact, the 2 Adcocks nose to tail. That's always an interesting situation we don't often see, but Plumley's got a good run right now. He's in a decent enough position. He's sitting 12th, so hopefully he can pick off that damaged car of Draskas ahead of him and make something of this.
I'm sorry. Yes, this time he does. And they were going 2x2 into 130Rs. These guys are they're just going manic. And this isn't even the last lap. We still got 2 to go.
I have absolutely no idea. Well, right now, but for me, it's between Job and Svidovic. But, well, two experienced drivers there. I do think, though, Daniels could have a shout if they get into something.
Oh, it's definitely hard to say. Any of these top 4 or 5 guys can pull it out. I'm going to say Matthew Daniels. I'm going to say he lost the lead from going 3 wide in the turn in a 130R. He's not going to be happy about that. I foresee him pulling off something aggressive here in the closing stage of this race. Oh, definitely, and he needs to make sure he gets a good run out of a straightaway wherever he decides to get it done. If he dives bomb and loses all of his momentum at entering one of these long straights, they're basically just going to eat him right back up and pass him again. It'd almost be best for him to maybe look at a move down into 130R or possibly into the chicane where it's not as long of a run down on the start-finish line. We had Antonides almost spin in the back. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Will. So that's one driver out of this battle partially.
I really don't know, Will, though. Savinovic looking to the outside now, coming through to the final chicane. Won't be in a position to take a place here, but he will get a good run out of these corners onto the back of Job, so could see something in turn 1, but right now, I don't think he will. Job, he's defending his championship, and, well, he needs to put his mark on the series right here, right now. Stamp it out and say, this is my season again, boys. But, well, Savinovic may have something to say to that as he goes to the inside, running down to turn 1. He will not complete it before they arrive at the corner, but he will secure it in the corner.
Well, here you can see then Savinovic as they come down to take the white flag. One more lap to go. Savinovic leads right now from Sebastian Job. Then Daniels in the 3rd position. They work themselves up the hill once again through the S's. It's Savinovic now from Job, from Daniels. 3 drivers still remaining in this race. Right on board then with the driver of Matthew Daniels. He is scored down in the 3rd position. He is still in this one here, Randy, and arguably he's in the best position of all drivers right now.
Oh, definitely. Every one of these drivers, you could argue, is in the best position right now. You got ones that can make passes. You got ones that can pick up from other drivers' mistakes. It's definitely going to be everyone feels like they're in the best position right now. It's going to be interesting who they pull it off and actually prove they were in the best position.
So then down into Daniel number 2 they come for the final time. So you can see Daniels then as they work themselves down. It's going to be a case of top 3 drivers separated by just 0.6 of a second. There you can see Kane. He is too far back, 1.6 seconds back. He needs a miracle right now, as he does in that 5th position. He has faded for today as well. Outstanding battles. Well, we got a driver. Oh, we got Amrami involved. Marco Connell involved in the incident. We'll get ourselves a very quick replay of this one for you. And Amri is involved in an incident. You can see rear end of the field. This is these drivers bunched up on the way down on the exit. I believe this is up the Dunlop curve. As you can see there, we look at the driver of Marco Connell. Here you can see 2 drivers involved. 1 driver upside down and around. That's on number 94 machine. Well, we go back to have a look at the live action then. As you can see, Savinovic versus Job. Just now, half an hour to go. Here you can see, you're going to see Job looking down to the outside to work himself down to the 130R. He will take actually the inside line. There you can see Savinovic. Job will have the inside line down to 130R. You can see Savinovic pushing him for all it's worth. But Savinovic can't do a thing. Sebastian Job down into the triangle for the final time. This race is almost in the bag, and now Daniels will go side by side with Savinovic. Savinovic 2 corners lost potentially here. Out in the final corner, it's going to be Sebastian Job claiming victory here today. It will be Savinovic who holds on to take second, Matthew Daniels in third. But I have to say, Rachel, Job won that race down the run to 130 yards because he upsetted Savinovic and allowed Daniels to secure that first position for him.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting one, of course, and it was really in part due to, wow, cars exiting the track in a rather inventive way there, but it was definitely down to him backing up Savinovic to Daniels and allowing him to fight. But I think my drive for the race so far, Will, has been Daniels. Matthew Daniels was mid-pack, and, well, he's made a statement. He's got his first podium in the first race. Yeah, I expect good things from him this year.
Well, we saw Matthew Daniels far improved in the Skip Barber 2K World Cup last night here on RaceSpotTV. As well, they can see the number 99 machine of Peter Cohen coming home in the 14th place here today. But let's run you through then in just one. Yeah, we can do that right about now, I think. Let's run you through your final race results, ladies and gentlemen, from the first round of Monday Night Skippies here on RaceSpotTV. Sebastian Job claims victory then from Roderick Savinovic overall by 8 tenths of a second, but don't look at that gap. We know it was much closer than that as they head themselves down out the 130 yard down into the triangle. Daniels came home in third, Rob Kane in the fourth position, and then Fahim Atanides running out your top five. Your top five drivers separated by less than 5 seconds after 10 laps worth of racing. Dominic Brennan coming home in sixth, Mark Mercer in seventh, then Williams, Morris and Plumney. As we head on back, there you can see then, we have a look through your second page of the results. It's Rafael Draskat in 11th, Tim Adcock in 12th, his brother Stuart in 13th, Brendan O'Brien in 14th, Chris Simpson, Peter Cohen, Ryan Williams, Andy Kuristoffer, Theobald Superant and Wayne Sanderson running out your top 20. Then the final part of your results, you can see them there, 29 drivers took on the challenge of Suzuka, 28 of them finished here today. 2 DNSs, Phil Blythe and Keith Sharp. We'll step aside for just one moment, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back with post-race coverage after this message. You're watching RaceSpot TV.
The NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series powered by iRacing.com has officially begun.
Cars are lined up on the grid. The RaceSpot.com World Championship Grand Prix Series. We are underway. They all come down into turn one for the first time. Welcome to post-race coverage of the first round of Monday Night Skippys here on RaceSpotTV on Fox Sports Live. Actually, no, we can't say that, Rachel. We're going to get ourselves sued, aren't we?
Yep.
That was the most intense post-race intro I've ever heard in my life.
It's one of the best. We're still getting sued.
Yep. Go! Welcome back to post-race coverage, ladies and gentlemen, here of Monday Night Skippys here on RaceSpotTV for the Club UK and Ireland Skip Barber Racing School Championship, where a fascinating finish here saw three drivers separated around just 1 second, but Sebastian Job take the race lead. We'll have a chat then with the driver who came home in the third position, Matthew Daniels. How was that race for you?
Yeah, hello. Well, that was a very exciting race. Great, aggressive stuff. It was going well for me. I was leading for the first half of the race until I was coming up to 130. I had a car either side of me, and if you try to go in the middle 3 wide into the 130R, you have to choose which car you want to hit. So I backed out, and they got ahead of me, and yeah, had to stay in third for the rest of the race.
Always hit Sebastian Job.
Okay,
Was that a subliminal message? I didn't hear anything then.
No?
I'll bear that in mind for next time.
Well, I have to ask you one question. Your performance from last season to this has drastically improved. We saw it last night on Sunday Night Skippys. We saw it tonight on Monday Night Skippys. Explain why.
I seem to have found quite a bit of speed this week. Yeah, doing very well in the official races, better than I've ever done before. I think I've just found a good combination. I seem to be doing pretty well.
Does that mean we're going to see you up the top all season, or is this just a one-off for you?
Well, I'll try to keep it up all season. We'll see what I can do.
Ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Daniels, and I have to say, Randy, great first round of the championship here at Suzuka. We put that round in the books. Of course, next week we go to a track that's a little bit shorter, shall we say. It's Lime Rock. That's going to be entertaining now, isn't it?
Are they gonna go to 3 wide up the hill? That's what I want to see.
Yes.
Probably no in this slot.
Do it. The question's
Are they
going to be,
running
can
the,
they
are they
make
running the
it
normal or the chicane version?
the normal version?
Well, I mean, if you can make 130R work 3 wide, you can pretty much do any sort of stupidity you like.
Can you
Sorry,
make
but
it-
if they try and run the Skippies around the Lime Rock chicane course, everyone's going to die. No one should run that chicane course because it's really bad.
It'd be the case of boom debris, boom debris, boom debris, all over the place.
Debris confetti.
Yes.
Well, that's a good tone to end on.
Oh,
All
yeah.
debris is confetti that comes from a race car, Rachel.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So Randy, did you enjoy commentating on a UK race?
That was pretty good. I was actually thinking, I was like, man, this is awesome. I want to race with these guys. I was like, wait a minute, I'm on the wrong continent. I'm on the wrong side of the Atlantic Ocean.
not British.
I have got to say though, to be fair, of all the series I commentate, UK and I Skip Barber Racing Schools Championship is probably one of the most exciting. Honest to God, it's even more exciting than the DWC. I said it. These guys go at it, hammer and tongs every race. It's just amazing racecraft, amazing tight competition. Yeah, it's why they are one of our favourite broadcasts.
Come on, Rachel, we all know you love the 12-hour race.
Oh, I love endurance racing, Randy.
Yeah, I can't even say what I want to say right now because I'll get booted out of iRacing. But because we love Club UK and Ireland so much, and it's a new season, ladies and gentlemen, the British National Anthem. Her Majesty United Kingdom's anthem here on RaceSpot TV. I would do the American national anthem, Randy, but you just shout at me if I did it.
I'm getting ready to like go grab my muskets and go shouting at everybody that the British are coming.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, do you want me to do it, Randy?
No.
No, I'm good.
Okay, there we are. We'll talk to you, ladies and gentlemen, next time. Bye-bye.
You started on the American national anthem. We stop you online. No, he just more American stuff.
He'd be singing the anthem
Oh,
for ISIS.
say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose was bright and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
'Cause we lost it.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Will, we need to do that again.
P.S. America, I love you.
No. We need to do that again. We need to record it, and you need to play it